So now that all the walls are up in the mobile workshop, we are going to start the process of building out the interior. So what that means is getting the cabinets done and also the little desk that's going to be at the front over there. For all of this, we're going to be using a 3/4 inch maple plywood. We just really love the look of that, and it's really strong and durable, so we think it's going to be great in here. So for this whole process, he's going to start with the desk and then just kind of work his way this way. And you can see we have a bunch of our solar system stuff already out here. But yeah, get the desk done and then start figuring out the placement of all the solar, because that's gonna be one thing that's a little tricky with this whole thing. Is there's a lot of large items. I mean, the solar, the chop saw, the table saw, all of that needs a home in here and needs to be functional. So there's a lot to figure out. A game of Tetris. You guys want to go on an adventure? Bye, Daddy.
That's the magical forest door.
That's it?
Yeah.
So what, you walk through that and you enter the secret forest?
Later, alligator.
How many times is Mommy gonna walk back to the camera?
I don't know.
Whatever you do, don't fall in the lava.
Huh.
Whew.
Not bad. Got a little gap over here, but I'm very happy with that. That little gap over there is going to drive me crazy. OCD. So now that the desk is all done, I know it's kind of hard to tell because it's in pieces, but now that it's all done, I can now shift my focus to what's underneath the desk, because I did that first, not only because it was the furthest, closest to the front, but also my solar is going to kind of tuck up underneath it, and I want to kind of build its encasement around the desk and kind of all of that. At least that's my thought process. So now it's on to solar and getting all of my power infrastructure kind of laid out and placed in. First, I'm going to start with my breaker box, and I'm going to mount that up here, and that should be the only thing of all the power infrastructure you should see at first glance. Everything else is going to be held within the cabinetry underneath. So as you can see behind me, my wall is back up and I'm ready to mount my inverter. But getting that wall up was a bit of a challenge. A lot of wires in this little 1-inch cavity. So that was fun. But now on to mounting up my inverter, which it's just going to sit on the floor and then be screwed into the wall to hold it in place. And then above that is actually going to be my charge controller. And with this charge controller, it's normally mounted vertically, but I don't have the space to mount it vertically because to the left of the inverter is going to be my large batteries. So they'll be over here. And then I got like a 12 volt AC to 12 volt converter, which that's how I'm going to run all the lighting and the actuators for the solar. That's going to be mounted probably right above the batteries. So this is the only space I have for this charge controller, unless I mount it outside in the open, which I'm trying to keep everything minimal, and also I want everything cleanly tucked in here. So as far as that goes, this was designed to mount vertically with this little tab, as you can see here, and the 2 holes in the back right here. I don't want it to do that, so I took my charge controller all apart, and I'm going to be creating some new holes, but also have to be very careful of not making sure that they don't interfere with any of the operation on the inside. So I'm going to create a few extra holes in here so I can mount this up and place it somewhere like that.
I am so happy to see the solar going up and that the cabinets are about to be built, because I know I've briefly touched on this before, but we are kind of running out of time, and ready or not, we are going to be going back to the mountains here soon. So the reason I say running out of time is because we have so much work to do there while the weather is nice, and just things to do before next winter comes, stuff outside. And yeah, so we really need to get going. So the plan is, once this cargo trailer is all done, all the cabinets are built out and all the tools are inside of it, we are going to be going back to the mountains to do a ton of work there. And I'm really excited about it, but I'm also a little nervous. It's always hard just with the living situation and trying to get work done and all of that, but then with the 3 kids, it can definitely be a little chaotic. It's chaotic here in a normal home. So to then put like the aspect of camping in it and like having to drive over the mountain for water and all these different things, it can be a little difficult. It's exciting, but it's also slightly terrifying because the kids just keep getting bigger and then the camper just keeps getting smaller. So yeah, the plan with when this cargo trailer is done, we're gonna be going back to the mountains, and the first big project, I believe, is going to be septic, correct? Yeah, we need to get all that going because we can't build the deck outside the shipping container cabin until we have all that digging and everything done. So that's gonna be the first big thing, and I mean, there's a lot of other big projects, but that's probably gonna be number 1. I don't know, it's all very exciting and fun stuff and things that we have been looking forward to for a very long time. But as this trip is getting closer and closer, I think just the reality of it all is starting to set in, and I'm just thinking about how big of a massive life change this is about to be. So now that I just talked about how we're on a time crunch, what's going on?
Well, I forgot about my data cables for this little communication box, which communicates between my charge controller, my inverter, and it'll tell me like,
Kind of important.
yeah, kind of important information. And also this is how I set everything up. So I don't want to have to pull this wall back down because that requires me to pull all this stuff off the wall and then pull the wall down. So I'm going to try to fish the data cables through. So I got to cut a hole through and then get my fish tape and hopefully fish these wires through. But odds are I'm probably gonna have to pull this wall down.
Are you serious? Well, then maybe you should just do that because you don't want to risk hitting a wire with the hole saw.
No, I know where everything is
Oh my gosh, babe.
because it all runs in like a Y down to these holes. Over here, there's nothing. Famous last words.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, no wires.
Oh my god.
Kind of fishing into the dark. Alright, I'm probably going to need your assistance.
Ooh, yum. Hands covered in WD-40.
Yeah, at least they smell good.
I disagree. I do not like the smell.
You do not like the smell of WD-40?
No, baby. What do you think this is? Cologne?
Yeah. There we go. Here's the hook. Here's the hook. God, I'm so close. Oh my god. It's just I got so many wires in this one hole.
Literally, there's like 8 wires already coming out of that hole. And then you're trying to put your finger in it to grab no fish tape.
Don't move it.
You said move it?
No.
I'm joking.
Ah.
Look at that. You did it.
Hopefully my data cables still work.
Yeah, they look a little distorted.
Distorted?
Distorted. What? Are you acting like I said the word wrong? You're distorted. Did I say it right that time? Whatever you do, don't let it go.
Judging on how hard it was to fish through.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it just goes right back through with ease.
Successfully fished our data cables through.
Do you want me to wipe my hand on your neck? It has a bunch of WD-40.
Please.
Who needs expensive colognes?
You know what's funny? I think they do have WD-40 cologne.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know I'm getting you for Christmas.
So next up on this whole solar system is pretty much the heart of the system, and that is the batteries. So what I went with is 2 5-kilowatt batteries, so a total of 10.2 kilowatt hours of storage. This honestly is a little overkill, but the main reason why I went with an extra versus just doing one, which is all I really needed for just powering the trailer and power tools and stuff like that and charging power tool batteries. It's really, the demand isn't really there for the 2. The reason why I went with 2 is because this is going to act as supplemental power for our cabin until we can actually get its whole solar system up and running. So as far as the system goes, so up top we have 1.4 kilowatts of solar panels. Not a whole lot, but we had it left over from our previous build. And then that comes down into our old inverter setup. So this is just a little 4 kilowatt inverter. Plenty of power for this scenario. The only thing that I am a little worried about that is the welder. Spec wise it should run it, but I don't really know. We're going to try that out. And then moving on is our new batteries. So 10 kilowatts of batteries, and then everything else is pretty standard as far as 120 goes. Oh, there is one more thing that I got a 12 volt converter. So it takes 120 volt down and steps it down to 12 volt, and that's going to run all like the interior lighting, exterior lighting, and anything else that requires 12 volts. So as far as mounting these batteries in here, because this is actually quite a bit of mass right here. Each battery's about 100 pounds, so just this alone is 200 pounds. And keeping this in a kind of secured is critical, because not only is it critical to the system, but it's just, if this moves, it has a lot to slosh around and damage. Yeah. So how I'm mounting this is, well, first, these are the little mounting bracket tabs, because these are just server rack batteries. And what I did on the far side, since these are angled, I just pounded them straight, so I'll screw them straight into the wall. And then on this side, I'm going to build a part of the cabinetry that's going to kind of wrap around this. It's going to be just 3/4 inch ply that'll wrap around the entire battery system, and then the cabinets will start here, and everything will attach to that, attach to the ground, and then also there will be a piece over on this side which will attach to the wall again and also attach to the ground. So it'll attach on multiple sides and then also be screwed into the wall right there. That should be enough, but I mean, that is going to be enough.
Should they be at the front of the trailer just so they're like against the wall? It's probably a little late for that.
Yeah, but it's just the way the layout worked out, because I wanted plenty of ventilation for the inverter itself and also the charge controller, so that's why they got all this space around them.
Gotcha.
And since this is like kind of coned, the only way I could have really flatly attached it to the wall,
build the cabinetry, right?
yeah, it just would have been a little more awkward. So this will be plenty, I'm sure of it. So now it is the moment of truth. We are going to turn on this solar array for the very first time. As soon as I flip these breakers, we should be live. Hopefully everything's good. All right, so let's do this. All right, let's turn these babies on. Cranks up. And there we go.